Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make French onion soup meatloaf. We are taking two favorite classic comfort foods, the meatloaf and the French onion soup, and we're going to elevate it as we combine it together with caramelized onions, the nutty flavor of Gruyere cheese, and a blend of spices. First thing we're going to do, we're going to start with the onions. I have two large yellow onions. We're going to get those sliced up. Take off the ends. Now I got two large ones. If you got medium ones, I would do three. You want lots of onion for this. We're taking off that outer layer. I love the fact that we are going to elevate a meatloaf with one of our favorite fall soups. So you have all the flavor, but not a hot soup yet. Pretty interesting, huh? I like the big onions. They're just so easy to peel, like that. What we're gonna do is cut these in half, and then we're going to slice them up. We gotta get some color to these onions, flavor to these onions, because they're gonna add a lot to this meatloaf. Slice these thin. I'm excited about this one because we love meatloaf in this house and we love French onion soup. This is the hardest step. Once you get past this step here, everything else is easy. And this is not even that hard to do, is it? Now I'm just going to pop these all out. It looks like a lot of onion, but it is going to caramelize down into barely anything. So don't worry about that. All right, look at all that. All right, we're going to be in a large skillet. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I'm using olive oil. 1 and 2. Keep it on hand because we may need it as we go along. And 2 tablespoons of butter. Now what we want to do is start melting the butter into the oil over a medium heat. Get that going. Hear that sizzle? That's what we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and place all of our onions into our skillet. That is the sound of cooking something amazing, right? We're going to cook these down until they're nice and soft. They have a caramelized color to them. And we'll be back. This step right here take about 20 minutes. Put your favorite show on and watch it while you're doing this step here, and it'll be over before you know it. We're halfway done. You just want to keep stirring these every so often so they don't burn on the bottom. And if you need to add some more olive oil down there, you certainly can do that. We're almost there. Now, I turned down my onions down to a low on the last 5 minutes so they don't burn while I shred my cheese. I'm going to use 4 ounces of a Swiss cheese and then 4 ounces of a Gruyere cheese. We'll go ahead and start grating that down. There we go. Okay, look at that. Our onions are nice and caramelized. Woo, they smell delicious too. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of some balsamic vinegar. And then we'll stir that in for just 1 minute. There we go. That came out a little faster than I thought. All right, stir that in. And then we're going to turn off the burner. We're going to set this aside to let it cool down somewhat while we're making the meatloaf mixture. All right, in a large mixing bowl, we're going to add in 2 pounds of ground beef. Now, I've got the 93% lean, 7% fat. All right, we're going to add in 1 cup of some panko crumbs. Now these are light and crispy and provide nice little pockets of goodness in the meatloaf. We're going to crack in 2 eggs. In a small bowl first, check for shells. Now I mix both cheeses up together, and we're going to place half of this into our meat. That's good right there. Half a cup of beef broth. We need that flavor. That's from the French onion soup. We've got some nice combinations of flavor going on. 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1 and 2. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. All right, we're going to go ahead and mix this all together. All right, I've got it all mixed up. We're going to add half of our caramelized onions. Ooh, that's going to add some flavor. All right, save that. Now we're just going to fold it in nice and carefully because we don't want to break the onions too much. I almost forgot this step right here. We're going to put in 1 packet of the onion soup mix. And then we'll fold that in with the onions. All right, we're going to get a sheet pan. Now we're going to freeform the meatloaf. You want a sheet pan that's got a nice lip all around it. That's to keep the grease from the meatloaf from dripping down into your oven there. We're going to put a piece of parchment paper on it. Now, if you don't have parchment paper, you can lightly spray your sheet pan. And then we're going to take our mixture and put it right on top. And then we're going to form it into a loaf, nice and smooth and even from one side to the other so it cooks evenly. Make sure it's nice and packed so it doesn't fall apart on you. There we go. That looks good. All right, we're going to place this in the oven that's been preheated at 375 degrees. We're going to bake this for about 45 minutes. All right, I've pulled my meatloaf out of the oven, and we're going to raise the temperature of the oven up to 500, or you can use the broil. All right, we'll get that heated up. Take the rest of the onions. We'll put them right on top. Yeah. Make sure you go all the way across with it. That way every slice will have those onions on there. I've got the rest of my cheese. We'll just sprinkle that right across the top. There we go. Oh, look at that, you guys. Who's ready? All right, we're going to pop that back in the oven once that hits 500, which it did, for about 5 minutes. You don't want to go longer than that. You want to make sure that the cheese is nice and melted and kind of golden brown across the top. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. Perfect. Ooh, all those onions. Yum, you guys. What do y'all think? All right, there's my slice. French onion meatloaf. Combination of French onion soup that we love in the fall time and classic meatloaf. Here's my fork. Ooh, let's get that cheese on there too. Here's my bite. Those onions give it a nice sweetness to it. It's very tender, nice and moist. My husband will like this because he can put it between bread and make a sandwich, which is one of his favorite ways to eat meatloaf. All right, you guys, what do you think? Give me a thumbs up on this one. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. Go check out my other 20 meatloaf recipes that I have. You can see them on my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com, or even go watch me make them on YouTube. All right, you guys, I'll see y'all on the next episode. Bye.